Welcome back, everybody, to another reaction video. Well, more than any other request that I've gotten, this one has been the most requested. It's the Attack of the Dead Men. You guys can't seem to get enough of the Sabaton reactions. I haven't watched this yet like the other ones. I wanted to react to it kind of for the first time in front of the camera. I know a little bit about this. I know the Attack of the Dead Men is a real thing that happened in history. It's actually called that. It's not just a clever title for a song. August 1915, there's this attack on a Russian fortress, and there was a chlorine gas attack that preceded it early in the morning, and it was a devastating chlorine gas attack on something a little under 1,000 Russians that were holding this position. I think about 900 of them. And the Germans had believed that this chlorine gas attack, which caused this kind of green that you see right there on the screen, had killed most of the defenders of the fortress. And so they launched this, I think, 6,000 or 7,000 man attack on this fortress. And what they come to find out is that the men, rather than being killed, were still alive, but in a lot of agony. And the Russians didn't have proper gear to protect themselves, so they were wrapping themselves in whatever they could. And this chlorine gas mixed with the moisture in their lungs to basically form hydrochloric acid in the lungs of these Russians. And so they're coughing up blood, they're coughing up pieces of their lungs. Their flesh is melting. It's probably the closest thing we've ever seen in history to an actual zombie, is what these Russians must have looked like. And so despite the fact that they're all dying at this point, they not only defend against this attack, but they seemingly rise from the grave. And that's where this idea of the Attack of the Dead Men comes from. And at the very last moment of it, something between 60 and 100 Russians that are surviving launch a counterattack and actually win the battle. They have some machine guns that cut down the Germans. And so even though they're outnumbered something like 7 or 8 to 1, they've been hit with this deadly gas attack, they managed to win the battle. But it's a Pyrrhic victory because almost all of them die, including the Russian commander in the battle. So that's about all I know about it. So I'll be curious to see how they approach that in this song. But don't forget, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We're making a push to try and hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So hopefully we can get there, and with your help, that'll be possible. I like the vibe, kind of the zombie feel to this one, not unexpected. This is definitely the kind of song that lends itself perfectly to Sabaton, just because of the nature of what happened. Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany. Yep. It's a counterattack. You can see the blood coming out of the soldier's mouth there. Die again. Yep. This really makes me want to study more about this attack. Paul Hindenburg was in charge of the Germans. This is the 11th Landwehr Division, I believe, the Germans. So put yourself in the mind of a German soldier in this fight for 1 minute. You think that the assault's going to be easy because you've run off the Russians. You think they're all dead. It's the early morning. It might not even be daylight yet. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. And you're marching in, and all of a sudden, it's almost like if you watch Game of Thrones, you know, when the Night King raises his arms and all these men start to rise up and the dead arise. That had to have been what this was like. You've got the gas causing that green, eerie kind of color. You've got your own gas mask on and everything for the attack, and you see these men just wrapped in bandages, basically like rising from the grave. It must have just, that's probably part of why this small number of Russians was able to counterattack and win. That and a bunch of machine guns. Gonna get a little history of it here now. As of yet, so I think this was the third battle over this fortress. I believe the Russians held it long enough to basically destroy the fortress before they had to retreat a few days later. I'm definitely going to want to go and watch the Sabaton history video of this to see what more they say about it. Yeah, it's been used though. Chemical weapons were used by Saddam Hussein during his war with Iran back in the 1980s. I like that. Yeah, this is one of those videos that's really leaving me wanting to learn more about what happened in this fight. So, being an American, I don't know nearly as much about the Eastern Front as I'd like to in either World War I or World War II for that matter. But this is definitely the kind of thing that makes me want to learn more about what was happening on the Eastern Front between the Germans and the Russians and the Austro-Hungarians as well at that time. So I would be curious to know your thoughts and your recommendations about which one we should do next. I'm not always going to be doing Sabaton. I did one yesterday on the Battle of Austerlitz. I think my next video is going to be looking at, there's a video that I found that seemed really cool, and it's a timeline of World War II movies, and it starts with the beginning of World War II, and it shows you clips of movies that start with 1939 and work their way through, and I thought that'd be a fun one to look at, so we'll probably do that next. But if you would hit that like button, please leave a comment and join us over on Discord. The Discord channel, the server is called History Guy Gaming because that's my main channel where I do all my strategy gaming, and if you want to check that out, click on the link in the description and it'll take you to that channel. But we also have a whole set of channels that are specifically about history, and we have a World War I channel, so you could join us over there if you want to have a further conversation about this. But thanks once again for supporting this channel. Help us to push toward 1,000 subscribers by subscribing and hitting that notification bell, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.